my name is Lavinia, and I am the founder and director of the M Word, and it is my absolute pleasure to meet up with a long-standing friend, Mike Tracey, who some of you might know that he is a regular on a Saturday morning on the Ferndale Community Radio station, where he plays his bits and pieces, and which I am very, very happy to sponsor his title. So it's a lovely, Mike, to have you again join us. But we're going to be talking about a very particular subject within mental health today. Do you want to kind of tell me a bit more about what's been going on for you?
Yeah, good morning, Lavinia, and thank you very much for having me today on your little program here. So at the present stage, I've been off work now since November with a shoulder complaint.
Right.
So basically, I've been started off going to see one doctor, and over the months, it's got into months now.
Yeah.
I've gone and seen one doctor, and then I've phoned up and spoke to another. You don't see doctors very often face to face these days.
No.
They speak to you on the phone. I've spoken to different doctors, clinicians, a physiotherapist. I waited weeks for a cortisone injection.
Right.
I got to meet the physio. I didn't know it was physio. I thought it was a doctor.
Right.
He examined me like they all do, put your arms in the air, do all the tests. And then he turned and said to me, well, I'm not going to give you the cortisone injection. And I'm like, why not? I said, I'm in a lot of pain here every night and every day virtually. Oh, because I don't think it's rotator cuff. I think it could be a tear. And I'm like, okay. And I'm not sure where I could put the injection and give you the best benefit.
Right.
So I'll refer you to a shoulder specialist.
So were they worried? Were they worried that if you had the injection, you might think you were feeling better and then tear it even more?
Yeah. Part of the problem is that the job I do is a very manual physical job, requiring me to swing my arms around quite a lot, lifting rubbish bags and heavy weights and stuff. So he didn't want to give me the injection. Right. And then it like works for a few weeks or a month. I go back to work and make it even worse.
Yeah.
And then I could be off, who knows?
Yeah.
But so I understand why he referred me to a shoulder specialist, which I went, great. Okay, then I'll go with that. I had to go back and let my boss know that I'm going to be off a bit longer now. How long will it take to see the shoulder specialist? Oh, it could take 8 weeks. And what am I supposed to do in the meantime? Painkillers. I'm taking painkillers are not working. Get stronger painkillers. So I'll become an expert in painkillers at the moment. You don't know anything about pain? Just give them those. So I had to wait 6 weeks. So I thought, I can't stand this. So I phoned up the people who were the shoulder specialist people who took the appointments. I said, look, I need to jimmy this along. I'm in a lot of agony. I'll take a cancellation anytime you want. Give me a cancellation.
Yeah.
Thankfully, about a fortnight later, a very nice lady I'd spoken to phoned me up. There's a cancellation. Do you want to go on Wednesday at such as that? Oh, yes. So I thought, great. See the shoulder specialist. He's going to look at me, give me the injection. I'm going to get sorted. I walked in to see the shoulder specialist. First thing is my x-rays up on the screen there.
Ooh.
I was told by Derford Hospital when the x-ray done 6 weeks previous that your x-ray was fine, no action needed.
I've heard this too many times. Okay.
And then shoulder specialist, when I went to see him, he's looking, he goes, yes, he goes, this x-ray is not right, this shoulder's not right. And I'm like, the Derford said it was fine. I'm getting a bit fed up now. So I'm, okay, so what's going to happen then? He examined me like they all do again, arms in the air, this, that, and I'm like, okay, so what happens now? I'm thinking, do I go and get this scan? Yeah, we're going to give you an ultrasound scan and then have a look and find out what it is. If it can be dealt with an injection, we'll give you an injection, which is not a cure.
Yeah.
Or you might need surgery.
Right.
I'm thinking, great. So when's that going to be? I'm literally thinking I'm going to be down the hallway now getting an ultrasound scan. Yes, I will refer you to Derford. The minute he mentions Derford, I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
I referred to Derford and I said, how long will it take? So he initially said, oh, it could be 6 to 8 weeks. And I said to him, really? I said, the pain I've been in, I said, I'm going out my head here. I said, I've been off work. I'm starting to lose it a bit here. I'm getting good days and bad days. So he said 6 to 8 weeks. So that was the 31st of January. I phoned up trying to find where the referral went. Phoned Dartford Hospital. Referral. I want to speak to someone about my referral. I want to be on. We haven't got your referral.
What? Oh no.
No, that's what they said. They haven't got a referral. So I'm like, well, where's my referral? What do you mean they haven't got it? It was sent out on the 31st of January. No, we haven't got it. Oh, where's? Oh, well, it's gone to Devon Health Services or something. Another number or something. So just give me another phone number.
Right.
So I phoned up the Devon Health Service, whatever it was. Oh yeah, Mr. Tracey. Oh yeah, we've got your referral here. Right. Yeah, and you're going to be referred to Mount Gold.
Right.
Okay. So for that, I'm getting confused. I'm sorry. I'm getting about 3 hours, 4 hours sleep a night. I'm getting a bit confused. It's been such a nightmare of battered pillar to post to try and get this sorted. Eventually,
so far, just to be clear then, far you've been in lots of pain.
Yep.
You've had to wait several weeks.
Yep.
It's impacting on your mood.
Yep. Oh,
and it's also because of your sleep being so heavily reduced, it's now affecting your concentration.
Oh, big time.
And
honestly.
Memory.
Yeah.
And memory.
Yeah.
So now we have got more than just one problem, haven't we? We've got not only the original problem, the shoulder, we've now got something that's impacting the memory and impacting the sleep. And so just out of curiosity, what's your appetite been like with all of this?
Well, thankfully, actually, I mean, sometimes I'll probably get out of boredom, but I am, I'm eating quite regular, quite all right. My appetite's been not too bad. What I've been trying to do is keep myself occupied. So I've got fortunately, I've got Ferndale Community Radio.
Yeah.
And the station manager gave me another show to do as well on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Just to focus on.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, daytime TV, don't watch it. It drives you insane. And I'm telling you now, it's just rubbish. I mean, I found myself watching Say Yes to the Dress. You know, that's so desperate to become. Yeah, it's all about women buying wedding dresses. My wife started watching it and I started watching it. And then she went to work and I found myself watching it on my own. I'm like, why am I watching this? And getting emotional. Yeah. I find myself very, 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 very weepy at the slightest little thing. I start getting weepy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. For some, no, I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah.
This 6 to 8 weeks have now gone on now. I phoned them up. Oh, no, it could take 3 months.
So every time it seems to get longer as well. The more specialists you need.
It's, well, I phoned them up. I said, look, I need to go on the cancellation list. I said, I am seriously not a pain here. It's messing with my head. I'm losing it. I'm having good days. I'm having bad days. So I've been having some really bad thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, we can't do anything about it. You're a routine appointment. Yeah, maybe routine for you and the doctor said, but not for me. I said, I'm in agony. Trust me. It's 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I am waking up. Your cocodamo's not working. Your gabapentin's not working. Your naproxen's not working. Nothing seems to be working. It works sort of a bit during the day and moving, but at night times. So I'll be honest with you. I dealt with it wrongly. I started drinking a lot.
Try and numb the pain.
Yep. Snag with it is when I'm sat there modelling, and I've had 2 instances now where I got to the point drinking a lot of alcohol, a lot of whiskey. Yeah. I went out and I grabbed a load of all of them and just took the ruddy lot. And I thought, that'll sort it. One way or the other, it'll sort it. I either will wake up or I won't. And do you know what? I didn't care. All it done basically was I crashed out, I slept all night. Next day, I was violently sick most of the morning.
Yeah.
I thought I learned my lesson. A fortnight later, again, I can't explain it to you. It's not planned. Again, drinking. I don't know where Kath was out somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, she's at work. I started in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Drinking white wine and then drinking whiskey, watching TV, watching the horrendous news, watching the earthquake, Ukrainian war.
Do you think it was all related to the pain, or do you think it was related to part boredom, part pain, or do you think that you've been so much in pain for so long it's actually now impacting on low mood? What do you think is it a combination, or is it just purely the pain?
It's a combination of continuous pain all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, just doing that then, like, and it's like it hurts. But continuous pain. During the day, it's like a dull ache all the time until I do certain movements. Ouch. But add that to the no sleeping, 3-4 hours regular, that's all I get at night, 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
My mood drops big time.
Yeah.
Add alcohol to it, which is a natural antidepressant anyway.
Yeah.
And I've had issues in the past. My records show, if they bothered to read them, that over the years, in the past, I've made several attempts at overdosing.
Yeah.
Now, after that first episode, 2 weeks later, I'd done it again. Started in the afternoon. And that was just not last Friday before, I think it was something. And it was a bit of a shock to me to wake up to paramedics waking me up in my house.
Yeah.
And I'm on the floor. I didn't even know I got there.
Yeah.
Because Kath had come over and found me in the state and called the ambulance. So they treated me forever. And then they talked to me and then basically said, well, he doesn't seem to have taken enough. So if he starts any reactions, call 999. So they left. They were brilliant, apparently. The scary thing for me is I phoned the doctor. My wife phoned the doctor the next day and explained what had happened. So the doctor phoned me back. And basically, I'm trying to explain to him how I feel and what I've done. And he's going, oh, well, the alcohol, you've got to stop the alcohol. You know, that's impacting on your mental health, the alcohol. I said, it's not the alcohol, doctor. I said, it's all the pain and no sleeping. I said, I didn't care. I got to the point, I planned it. And I took a load of tablets again. I said, I'm in a scary position. Anyway, I said, the tablets aren't working. Oh, yeah. So then, bearing in mind, if I was in a different frame of mind here, I said, well, the paramedics recommended even stronger painkillers over the telephone, this is. So how about I have some tramadol? Oh, yeah, tramadol. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, the medication's taken. I'm taking gabapentin. Well, don't take the gabapentin, but tramadol. Yeah, you can have that. I'll send you a 2-week supply of it, but don't get addicted to it. And I'm like, bang on then. I've just tried to take a load of tablets, which apparently can't kill you because they're not strong enough, apparently. But now, after I just told you that, you're going to willingly over the telephone give me a load more. So I could, in fact, if I want to, tonight, take the damn lot.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Because I just feel that none of them are listening to me. And I said to Kath, my theory is this. If you try and overdose and you wake up, they won't take you seriously. If you overdose and die, then they go, oh, look, that was wrong, wasn't it? That's the way I'm feeling.
It's a very difficult agenda, isn't it? Because taking an overdose is extremely serious, isn't it? But ultimately, you have to ask yourself, why? Why did we? And actually, there is a combination of things that we've already identified. But the main thing is that the first problem isn't being resolved, is it? The first thing is the pain. The pain is so intense, isn't it? And it's consistent. And it's now turning into a chronic situation or a long-term situation where initially you thought, okay, I'm being signed off for a few weeks, let it rest and then it'll be fine. And what you found is you've rested it, you're still in pain.
Yeah.
The pain isn't decreasing, it's continuing.
Yeah.
And actually so much so that it's now impacting your sleep. And sleep, we were joking beforehand, that occasionally I do a bender of a late night because I'm in the zone of writing.
Yeah.
But I can't sustain that, certainly not now. So when we have consistent nights being impacted because of poor sleep, you do feel very zombified.
Yeah.
And after a lengthy period of time, you actually feel really, really quite low. Yeah. This is all impacting on mental health as well as physical health.
And added to that, all the tablets you're taking.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you was, we often talk about having pain clinics. So did anybody mention pain clinics to you?
No, we only spoke about this morning, actually, wife.
Really?
The thing is, they have put me to physio.
Right.
Now, as far as that's concerned, that is the pain clinic, isn't it? Because the doctors, not one, they only mentioned physio, but no doctor's ever said to me anything about, yes, Mr. Tracey, we should send you to a pain clinic. I've never even heard of a pain clinic until a few days back. I think someone mentioned it. I'm like, what's a pain clinic? No one's told me about it.
Yeah, so Steve and I mentioned it on the radio in our radio session last Friday.
Yeah.
But the difficulty is when pain clinics first came out, it's very CBT orientated, and it was very mindfulness orientated.
Yeah.
And Steve himself was saying that his experience of it actually wasn't very conducive to his mental health and well-being. It's really difficult. You either really love it or you absolutely cannot stand it and it's not effective. So the drinking doesn't help, but it is a pain relief. Unfortunately, it has a very toxic effect because it's also a natural depressant rather than an antidepressant. And so by taking something that's going to lower your mood, along with the pain that's going to lower your mood, means that whether you like it or not, you're going to be more vulnerable to mental ill health.
Yeah.
So let's think about what you have managed to successfully achieve. So you mentioned doing another radio show, didn't you? So when you're doing the radio show, have you noticed whether you're in as much pain?
It's the thing about it is, when I'm sometimes focused on doing stuff like that, I don't feel the pain so much.
There you go. So that's the best pain clinic ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the distraction, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I think it is actually, because when I'm doing a radio show, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're in the morning, so when I turn up, I'm usually a bit like, I said to Kath, I don't know if I want to do this. And Kath says, you'll feel better once you go.
Yeah.
So get in, sit down in the studio, get on air, and then my personality changes and I can get on with it, play music, and it's great.
Yeah, and you love
2
music,
hours,
don't you?
2.5 hours. Yeah, great. 2.5 hours, I'm in a different zone, like you're in the writing zone, I'm in the presenter zone, and the pain doesn't seem to exist then.
So for 3 hours, driving there, doing the show, driving home, for 3 hours, you are able to have 3 hours pain-free.
Virtually pain-free. Don't get me wrong.
Virtually.
If I do a wrong movement in the studio, I'll get a reminder. To move me on. Ow, that hurt. But it's not.
Shouldn't have done
that. Air guitar. No, I don't air guitar. I'll use the other hand. I mean, there's a classic case. I went out last night actually, karaoke. That's another thing I do sometimes, karaoke, because it's just a distraction again. But with friends from the CAD from the drama group I'm with.
Right.
So now the karaoke's fine. I hold the microphone in this hand, not a problem.
Right.
Singing, that's great.
All right.
But I wasn't feeling the pain because I had just a couple of pints. I had my painkillers beforehand. And then someone said, do you want to go pool? I thought, I ain't played pool for ages. Yeah, great. I went up there and did pool, didn't I? I never gave it a thought. So I'm leant over as you do with your arm and that lot and shoulder. And I didn't give it a thought. It wasn't until this morning.
You paid the penance.
Oh, I'll tell you what. And Kath said to me, yeah, you didn't think that one out, did you, when you played pool? I said, it didn't cross my mind. I said, I got in the zone of being sort of pain-free and with friends and played for a long time. So I went for it. I said, but now I know I can't do it because I'll pay for it later on. That's my own fault.
But there's something interesting here, isn't there? Because yet again, you've managed to distract yourself by being in a very social, warm environment with friends, doing an activity you all enjoy doing, chatting, drinking, and actually going and doing an activity. So
whaling.
Going through that again, obviously you can't do the physical aspect, but you could still be part of it and watch them and tally the scores and things like that. But that's two things now that we've found, that with your distraction, your pain is considerably reduced. Now, I find that quite interesting. Now, let's just have a bit of a dig with this.
Yep, okay.
What happens when we have pain?
Ouch.
Right?
But
for anybody listening to this, you should know that Mike's back Grounders. He's ex-Navy.
Yes.
You're going to get
Sorry.
the fun sense of humour. Right. But in the moment of pain, we tend to tense up, don't we? So everything's feeling very tense because you don't want to move in the wrong way.
True.
Your brain is filtering. Please be careful. If you nudge it, if you knock it, if you drop something and you then have to lean down. So all these movements, and let's not forget, there are so many muscles and so many bones.
True. In
different areas. And actually, we don't know still. That's the difficulty you've got. You just don't know what's wrong. You know it's around, it's around the shoulder.
Key.
But ultimately, you're tense. And yet the two things where you've learned that you've managed to have pain-free episodes, you have been the opposite. You've been very relaxed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you also mentioned, and I know you love doing this very much, you also mentioned that you have a certain group of people that you mix with. Doing what?
There's nothing illegal. So yeah, basically, I'm a member of an amateur dramatics group down here in Plymouth,
right.
ADCAT. And so obviously amateur dramatics, we do these plays and there's a bit of singing in it, etc. So we've recently done Phantom of Talent Factor, and we've done a pantomime.
At Christmas.
At Christmas.
Yeah. Who did you play there?
I got to wear a wig and everything. No, I played a character called Dame Thora, and actually was the Dame.
The Dame. Wow.
So I had to get in touch with my sort of like, Damey side. It's a challenge, but then again, I had training in the Royal Navy, so
Yeah.
But yeah, and that is something that keeps you focused. I've got to be careful with it because, like I found out playing the Dame, there's a bit of dancing sometimes involved. So I was mindful not to swing my left arm around then.
Right. Right.
I had to hold my hammer and keep it in my right hand. And every time I swung my hammer around, keep it right-handed.
Yeah.
But without thinking, when you're on stage acting, you will automatically, you'll do something with your arm. I will wave or do something with it. So it was causing a bit of pain at the end of the day. But it was like a case that was no pain, no gain, because I was doing it. I was involved with it before it all started kicking off. And being a big character, I thought I can't pull out of it now. I'm going to stick with this. Yeah. So, but it's another distraction for me. It's with the same group of friends that I went to the karaoke with.
Yeah.
I'm not in this play this time. They're doing a new play. I've stepped back and pulled out of it because of what's happening with the show. I don't know what the results are going to be yet. Whether I'll end up with surgery, whether I'll end up in a sling for another 3 months afterwards, I really don't know. So I've backed out of it. So I can't do it. I can't do it.
So is there the possibility that you could do a very small part that if you felt unable to do it, it wouldn't be the end of the world?
Well, what the director's kindly said, he said, would you like to learn a bit about directing and shadow direct?
Oh, beautiful.
So I just sort of like stand with him and just watch when he does directing a play. And sometimes I'll suggest an idea what we could do, to help out with some of the scenes. So one of the scenes they had going, I said to him, I really don't like that scene. I said, I think it's pretty vulgar. I said, so perhaps you could change it with this idea. And he listened and he said, yeah, we could do that. That's not a bad idea, actually. So we changed it. So I get to have a little go with that and still see the people. And when they're rehearsing, I can read in for people now and again when they're rehearsing so they can learn their lines.
So what happens then? What happens with your pain then?
It's there. Don't get me wrong. But it's just that same continuous, what I always get during the day is like a dull ache.
So something like that then clearly isn't as much fun. It's not in that zone that you need to be pain-free, does it? But you're still part of it.
Probably if I was on the stage, I might be.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And I think with our mental health, it's very much about learning what is our zone that can allow us to be pain-free, and then what is the next best thing so that we're not sitting at home watching Say Yes to the Dress and drinking alcohol, but is is getting us out of the house and doing things where you feel you're not losing the plot, because there is a definite system of levels, isn't there, where one is top level, pain-free, you know, you're having an enjoyable time and it's not impacting on your mood, but equally it's not putting you at risk. Whereas if you go down a notch, yes, you're out with people, yes, you're being distracted, but you're aware there is some pain. And then you get to the lower level where you're at home and you're just feeling rubbish and acutely aware of pain.
That, I think, it's also, I think sometimes because you get so tired and the tablets, there's a lot of other anxieties rushes in on me at the moment as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm a full-time worker and because we've got a mortgage and bills like everyone has. So the panic now is because, and Kath got hit nail on the head, this is all out of my control. I can't control any of this. I've got to ride this, whether I like it or not. So I'm obviously like scenarios are forming in my head all the time. So it's what happens now then? I do a very, very manual job, swinging bags around. What happens now? Say if they turn to me, you're going to have surgery. Yeah, Mr. Tracey, have surgery. That's going to take another 3 or 4 months. My sick pay in a minute goes to half pay. Yeah. So that's bad. But then I found out I will get statutory sick pay on top of that, which the university will thankfully let me have. That's going to help.
So you've been very proactive though in finding that out. You've been problem solving.
Trying to, but I'm just worried whether I'll actually go back. It's getting to a point, I don't know if I'll ever go back to my job. I'm really worried that I won't be able to do the job anymore. And at the university, you're going to say.
Do you remember when you first came to me as a client? What did we talk about? What did we talk about? Problem solving as possible solutions.
Oh, I can't remember what happened yesterday, to be honest with you. I mean,
no, you do, because you're doing it now. What did Lavinia say to you? I think you should join the radio.
Yes, you did.
Join Amateur Dramatics, because you love it.
Yeah.
And look what you found. Yes, I really enjoy that. So if we've done that once, you and I together, many moons ago, how can we not do it again? Because we've done it once and it's proved very successful. So why can't we do the same thing, have another lengthy discussion and kind of find out, okay, if we're not able to go back to that job, what else could we do that wouldn't involve such manual labor?
This has been going through my head on what I could do.
Okay, what have you come up with?
Well, at the moment, see, it's admin work, and I hate being sat behind a desk.
No, that's not you.
I tried that when I worked for an employment company at writing CVs. It drove me scatty when a while. I was just sat there at the desk watching people walking outside, up and down outside the office window, thinking, I want to be out there.
But what have you now added to your CV?
Sorry?
What have you added now to your CV?
I haven't got round to doing that yet. My wife and I are trying to look at it, but I will be able to add on that I've done been a radio presenter, amateur dramatics can go on there now.
Don't forget the road shows.
Sorry? On the road, all the outside broadcasts and things, yes. Yeah.
So suddenly,
we're going to add that on.
When we had the discussion moons ago, we didn't have all this experience.
No.
But because we were talking about what could you do differently, and you took full opportunity of exploring that, now the landscape has changed for you. And when you look now at your new skill sets, actually you've got a wider opportunity to go, well, hang on a minute, I really know that when I'm in my zone at the radio station, when I'm in my zone on the stage, life is sublime.
It's better.
It's sublime. You enjoy doing it so much, and it's such a kick for your mental health. And I'm thinking to myself, right, Mike and I spent hours many years ago talking about what is the problem and what can we do differently. And you embraced all of that and went forward. So why can we not repeat that cycle again? Surely now with those added skills, you can start looking at jobs that you might not have been able to consider all those years ago because you simply didn't have the experience, but you do now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what jobs it would be, but I'll go on Indeed, whatever. I'll have a look around.
Yeah.
See what's there.
Because then you're filling your day focusing on what your strengths are and what you like.
Yeah.
And also remind yourself this is right now a tentative plan because you're not sure whether you will be able to go back, because we're still working on, you know, if it's an operation, what will that impact be?
Precisely.
If it's not an operation, is it injections? What will that impact?
Precisely. Yeah.
Because you don't know, what we have to kind of consider is all bases, and that's what you're doing when you're doing your problem solving, isn't it?
I mean, it's a good idea to keep doing that sort of problem solving, because what you mentioned earlier about certain days, I get good days and bad days. And the funny thing about being a bit depressed in down is that you might appear like, oh, you're all happy-go-lucky and everything's fine, but really inside, I'm not.
Yeah.
So like yesterday, for instance, I got up and I stayed in my really well dressing gown, well, all day till about 4 in the afternoon. Because I said to Kath, I don't really feel like it. I just want to, but strangely enough, I felt good about it all day, just not doing anything, just dossing about. But the danger is, what I found, if I do it one day, is that it seems to like get on the next day and you start to feel it again. And then you start to feel a bit, what's the word? When you're inside yourself, you don't want to go out.
Yeah.
So I've got to watch that. You
become more isolated and withdrawn, don't you?
Yes.
But I've also noticed that when we've planned our meetings over the last 2 or 3 weeks, because what others don't know is that Mike has been helping me think about all sorts of things about how we could support other people through the M word.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty that Mike has at the moment is that he's got time on his hands to think, whereas I don't have time to think. I'm too busy helping clients, whereas Mike's got this lovely time of luxury time that I don't have. So we're trading notes. So you get very motivated and very animated when we meet up, because we're talking about lots of things, and you're springboarding ideas, aren't you?
Yeah, we have been, yes. Yeah.
And yesterday you were on the button, despite being in your dressing gown, going, looking forward to tomorrow. We're still on, aren't we?
Yes.
Very animated, very come on.
Yeah.
And then even this morning you were chasing me. I was in the middle of trying to finish your report and you were like, come on, you're running late. And I was
oh, that's just service training.
That's just service training. We'll blame it on that. But my point being is you were looking forward to it. It was something that was different today.
Too right, yeah.
And this is something we need to remind ourselves when we have things to look forward to. They are good, but it's also important to rest. And when you have a down day, you have a down day, and don't see it as, oh, so I'm going backwards. Actually, sometimes we just need a pajama dressing gown day, don't we? Just pottering around where the pressure isn't on us.
Yes, true.
Now, I've got an interesting question for you, and I don't want you to kind of go, what? What I want you to go is to consider there are lots of things you've been describing that would possibly suggest you're on the autistic spectrum.
Right.
What do you reckon?
My wife's often said that. Yeah.
Let's not say anything to Kath, but I think she too is.
She thinks she is about
ADHD.
Yeah.
ADHD. Is she not?
100%. I can tell you what, she can spot something a mile away if it's off, and she'll go, the picture's crooked up there. I'm like, what do you mean? It's fine. No, it's not. I'm going to straighten it, and she'll straighten it. And like I say, if I put anything down anywhere, it's gone. I'm sure if I stood still too long, I'll be in the trash or something. I don't know. I'll be in the way. But I have got my ways about me. Whether it's autistic or whether it's routine, I'm a creature because again, I think that goes back to service training, routine. I've got to have some kind of routine. If I've got a routine, that focus.
I find this really interesting because I think the military serves very well. It caters incredibly well for those people on the autistic spectrum when they really like routine. It's just made for them, isn't it? And there are
Yes,
lots
I
of
agree.
people who join the military and realise within a very short period of time, I'm not going to be able to survive training school. And it's only something like 6 weeks, isn't it? The initial training.
Yeah,
It's not very long, but
yeah.
it's enough to kind of go, this is not for me.
It's
But
not.
for somebody like you, it was sublime. It was like, this is interesting. This is me.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think there is something that needs to be further investigated with this. So, do you know what I'm going to offer you? Because you are such a dear friend.
Okay.
I'm going to do a free screening on you.
Is it painful?
No.
So free screening?
I'm going to do a free screening because I already know your mental health assessment.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to do the other half of the job that I could have done, I suppose, if I'd thought about it when I first saw you. But of course, the TILS situation at that point didn't allow for doing extra bits there and then.
Yeah,
but
can I just add the fact that, yeah, like you said, I went to Lavinia a few years ago with some anxiety sort of problems and things I was going through at the time. And I'd seen a couple of counsellors before that, and they were a bit, what I call a bit wishy-washy, touchy-feely, and I don't get on with that. But so when I went to see Lavinia, she sort of told me as it was, and there was no pulling back, and it actually gave me a bit of a slap and woke me up. And then she turns and said, we'll bring your wife in to have a listen as well. I was thinking, oh, but we done it. And I was grateful for that because Kath helped me out then. She understood what I was going through. I was given homework, which I was like, yeah, okay. Kath's got home with me, got to do your homework. I got helped a lot. So, yeah, and I appreciate that, what you're saying.
But you
Thank
did really
you very
well
much.
with your homework, didn't you?
I tried.
Yeah, no, you did.
I got a gold star, I think. But
yeah, no, and Kath was very helpful, and it was a very, very productive meeting that we had.
Definitely.
Because it felt like that even if there were bits you didn't remember, Kath would pick up on it, but also it wasn't it's down to you to get on with it. It felt more like it was a teamwork, didn't it, in your relationship?
Yeah.
And because of that, she was incredibly supportive at encouraging you to go forward, finding the radio stations, joining the amateur dramatics. And, you know, she has definitely seen, like I have, that you had a new lease of life. You were kind of like, this is interesting. This makes me get up in the day.
Well, I've got to thank you for the radio station because you're the person that was involved with Ferndale Community Radio in the first place. And it wasn't for you talking to the station manager who happened to mention they were looking for presenters. And then,
but in particular, veterans.
I mean, it'd been nearly a year or so, I think, whatever. And you phoned me back blue and said, how'd you fancy this? Presenter on a radio station. What did I do? I put the phone down. I phoned the station manager there and then. And I was like, yes.
You did. You did. And look at you now. So I'm just thinking, you know, let's do a free screening because I have my suspicions.
Got your what?
My suspicions.
Suspicions?
Yeah. I'm not a betting person. I never, ever have been.
Right. Okay.
But so we'll do that. We'll book another session between you and I.
Thank you.
And we'll do that.
Appreciate that. Thank you ever so much.
Maybe,
appreciate it.
Maybe you would be willing to come back and talk about how you found it.
Found what?
The session.
Oh,
the screening.
Sorry. Of course I would. Of course I will. Yes. I'd be delighted to do that. That's absolutely 100%.
No, that'd be really good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you ever so much. I really would appreciate that.
No, you're very welcome. You're
all
very
this
welcome.
time for the time being, so yeah, that'd be great.
So what we've established is actually the pain doesn't go away, does it? But what we find is when we're in our zone of things that really distract us, we are so-called pain-free, which I find really interesting. But I also find it interesting that there are some things that we know that numb the pain quite a bit, but we're still aware of it. And those are the bits that we like doing, but not so much as when we're in the zone.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, it
And
seems
then
like
there are other times when we feel every wince, every minute that we're lacking in sleep deprivation. And we are acutely aware, and then the pain drives us insane.
Yeah.
But that does really indicate, does it not, that we need to find those very welcome opportunities, you know, like meeting up with friends, having a pint of beer, perhaps not playing pool or snooker, but actually being part of it and watching them, you know, doing the scoreboard.
Yeah.
These things help us be considerably less in pain. And I find those really interesting. So that's something to maybe think about. But we're going to draw our program to a close because obviously, you know, you and I could talk for Britain, couldn't we? Quite easily. You know, we could talk about cars, we could talk about holidays, we could talk about military service, you know, we could do all of that. But I think for now, what I'd like to say is thank you so much for kind of being very open and honest about your experiences. We've been talking about pain and how it impacts our mental health. My absolute delight has been talking with Mike and I have been friends for quite a number of years now, and he does a radio show on Radio Ferndale Community Radio Show on Saturdays. It's 10 o'clock, isn't it? 10 o'clock?
Yeah, 10 until 12.
10 till 12, bits and pieces.
That's it. And sponsored by the M Word.
And sponsored by the M Word. I'm very proud of that. Very proud of that.
Yeah.
And we're very hopeful that we're going to be doing a joint road show, aren't we? Sometime soon.
Yeah.
Where you could meet Steve, who I do a radio show with on Friday around mental health and autism, but also with Mike. I think it's sometime in the summer when we're doing Armed Forces Day, aren't we?
Yes, it is.
Armed Forces Day.
June or July. I can't remember.
Yeah. So that'll be something to look forward to, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But in the meantime, thank you so much, Mike, for joining me today to talk about this. I know that it will help some people considerably in understanding what's been going on and consider how they might be able to find their zone to be able to become more pain-free.
It definitely helps finding your zone. If you can find that little zone somewhere, it definitely does help with the pain. Yeah. And also, if you got sleep deprivation, it does help with that as well.
Yeah.
I come home from the radio station and I have something to eat and I go sleep on the sofa. But at the end of the day, it's that few hours is quite precious.
Yeah.
So, and it's also been lovely being speaking to you and helping with like the M Word, another lovely distraction which I look forward to, so we can talk. And now you said the screening, something else for me to focus on as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mike. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to draw it to a close now and say thank you to all those who've joined the programme. It's been a pleasure having you on today.
Okay, thanks very much, Lavinia. You take care and speak soon. Speak soon. Bye.